What is the Dow Jones Index? The full name of Dow Jones Index is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is one of the oldest U.S. market indexes. Together with the S&P 500 index and the Nasdaq index, it is the three major U.S. stock indexes. The Dow Jones Index contains the stocks of 30 well-known blue-chip companies in the United States, which are usually the leaders in various industries. The Dow Jones Index has the following three characteristics. 1. Follow the trend of U.S. blue-chip stocks. The Dow Jones Index currently has 30 constituent stocks, mainly selected from well-known blue-chip companies in various industries, including 3M, Apple, Coca-Cola, Intel, and McDonald's. Most of these companies are leaders in various industries. The index calculation method is that each component stock is calculated by means of a weighted average stock price. 2. Represent the trend of the U.S. economy. Because the Dow Jones Index tracks the stocks of leading companies in various industries, it can represent the trend of leading U.S. industries to a certain extent. To a certain extent, it also represents the economic trend of the U.S. stock market, but its representativeness is still slightly lower than that of the S&P 500 index. After all, the S&P 500 index covers more constituent stocks and is more comprehensive. 3. The Dow Jones Index futures are more volatile. Compared with the S&P 500 index, which is 500 constituent stocks, the Dow Jones Index has only 30. Fewer constituent stocks seem to be a disadvantage, but it is an advantage for futures trading, because futures themselves are not used for long-term investment. Financial products are often short-term in and short out, and the degree of transactions is frequent, so they are more representative. And why is it called the Industrial Average Index? It's because when the Dow Jones Index was first founded in 1896, most of the constituent stocks belonged to industrial-related stocks in the context of the time. Later, the constituent stocks were gradually increased, and the constituent stocks have undergone many alternations, and they are now diversified industries. After understanding the constituent stocks and characteristics of the U.S. Dow Jones Index, if you want to invest, you usually trade an ETF, futures, funds, etc. 1. Dow Jones Index ETF, suitable for long-term investment, slowly becoming rich. ETF itself is traded on the stock market, and there are currently many ETF tracking the Dow Jones indexes, as long as they open an account through a brokerage firm and can be traded. However, although they are tracking the same index, there is a big gap in management fees. Choosing a brokerage firm that has an advantage in management fees will have more and more differences in the return on investment in the long run. 2. Dow Jones Index futures, suitable for short-term entry and exit, swing trading. The biggest difference between investment futures and ETF is that ETF is suitable for long-term holding, with little short-term changes, and it is not easy to short. The futures can be long or short, plus it is a margin commodity. You can use leverage to increase the availability of funds. The Dow Jones Index has the characteristics of a steady and long-term increase in return. The constituent stocks of the index have a strict screening mechanism. Most of the constituent stocks of the Dow Jones Index are industry leaders in their respective industries. If you want to use the Dow Jones Index for investment and financial management, there are several things to pay special attention to. 1. When trading the Dow Jones Index ETF, be aware that it represents the trend of U.S. blue-chip stocks, not the general economic trend of the U.S. If you want to fully replicate the trend of the U.S. economy, Investing in S&P 500 index ETF would be a better choice. 2. When trading Dow Jones Index futures, because there will be leverage effects and margin trading, if you are not familiar with futures trading, it is best to prepare a little more margin to reduce the effect of leverage.